Yeah, I mean, it all originated from a story from a friend of mine had told me. He basically got into a fight with his father, and he sort of left home, and he had a decision to make at the time, or so he thought. It was like, it sort of got a bit nasty, and he was thinking about leaving home, and but he returned, he actually came back. So that was what this sort of story originated from, and I just wanted to sort of explore, you know, what would actually happen if a son would strike the father. So and that was the originating story.
So that's purely from an experience of a friend.
Yeah.
And how much of it is there with you then?
Well, I mean, I think there's quite a bit in terms of sort of the father-son relationship. You know, for me, I've got quite a good sort of relationship with my dad, but I suppose when I looked at his sort of relationship, I always wanted to explore something that was sort of familiar in terms of what would have a good relationship, or what would it actually like to be if you didn't have the sort of relationship that I did. So I mean, that's as I said, that's where it sort of all came from.
In terms of, were you studying film? Were you writing?
Yeah, I mean, I'd done film and media at ManMed, and I'd sort of come out, and you know, John Breck, who sort of co-directed with me, John had been travelling, John came back from travelling, I was looking to make stuff, and so was John. And we'd been to uni together, and we just sort of collaborated on it, and you know, a few sparks started to fly, and you know, we made a black and white film called One Last Love Song, and then this one came up, and this sort of came up really, really quickly, so we just sort of wanted to strike when the iron's hot.
So in terms of striking, well, it's always good to strike while iron's hot, but did you, in terms of just doing it and getting it done, sorting out the locations, etc., what was the timescale? I'd say a good 10 to 11 months. I mean, it was a long process from, you know, sort of getting the story right. You know, we worked with a script editor for the first time, and I mean, that was great. We learned a lot from that, and we looked at a lot of places for locations, and you know, we looked at a lot of different boxing clubs. The house, we had a beautiful house. It all fell through 48 hours before we were going to shoot. Where did you shoot it?
It was in a house in Oldham.
Okay.
But we had a beautiful house in Reddish. But it was more sort of tailored to how the script was. But the girl who was going to let us use the house, she got broke into 3 days before, and she phoned me up and she just went, I can't use the house because they were feeling a bit unsure, and you know, there's going to be a crew of about 20 people coming, and so she felt a bit uncomfortable. So we were thinking, right, we can't let the production die. You know, we've spent ages getting to this point. So myself and John drove around half of North England trying to find a house that would, you know, would suit. And the reason why we chose the house we ended up working in is because the woman was so kind that she actually, her and her daughter went to London, and she just gave us the keys to the house for 2 days.
Brilliant.
You know, so it was like that kind of sort of made it easier. We could set up, you know, it made the time frame working with the actors and stuff. It just gave us so much more time rather than having to go in and out at certain times.
What about auditions for the actors? I mean, how did you choose? So I know Ticky.
Yeah.
I recognise her.
I mean, again, we just went through a process where we had 3 days of auditions. We just sort of had a lot of people sort of come in. You know, there was quite a lot of sort of talent. I mean, we were quite lucky with Nico, the young guy from Hollyoaks. It was his sister who's actually in the film as well.
Right.
That's his real sister, and that all came about where we sent the script to her, and she wanted someone to read with before the auditions, and he read the script, and he phoned us up and said, I'd love to come down and do an audition. And we were thinking, yeah, no problem, come down and audition. And there was him, and there was another young guy that were sort of by far the talent that we were sort of looking for, you know, because we needed someone who had the physical presence of a boxer. And there was only 2 people who really sort of fitted the mold, but he sort of shone pretty well in the auditions. And then we did like a second, so we brought them all back as a team then on the 3rd day of auditions, and they all sort of hit it off, so we thought, right, we've got our team. So it was good, and the audition process was really, it was important that we got, you know, the sort of right people for what we were looking for. You know, it had to be sort of some sort of family unit that looked alike, and was, you know, strong accents and You know, so we did plan quite a bit of it, and we knew what we were looking for, but you're never quite sure whether you're actually going to get what you want.
And this is almost part of a year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that was it. You know, we had to. I mean, we left the auditions to slightly further down the line because we wanted to sort of get the auditions done, but we didn't want the actors hanging around too long in case things came up. You know, especially in Nico's case, because we knew he was looking to leave Hollyoaks at the time and pursue the BBC stuff. And you know, we were keen not to lose him at that stage. So. That's why we wanted to keep to a tight schedule once we had the auditions sorted.
How do you feel about watching that, then?
It's really weird. I hate seeing myself in that damn film. I completely forget him. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. I haven't seen it for a while now. So yeah, it's nice to look back and think it went according to plan, despite all the minor hiccups along the way. It's nice to see it on the big screen.
So I'm going to open up to the floor, actually. Yeah. Any questions, please? Maybe here?
Yep.
Just a comment really, I just really like the colouring of the film. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, well, we did sort of, whenever we started the process, John and I had talked about doing sort of having a bleach bypass sort of feel to it, so we had a sort of strong idea how we wanted it, and on the actual filming days, we sort of had we had sort of filters to help us sort of bring it to life on set, and then when we did the colour grade, that kind of then sort of enhanced the overall feel to it at the end of it. So you know, it was when we seen it after the colour grade, it was like, whoa. We thought it was good before the colour grade, but the colour grade just really gave it some life.
So it sounds like I really enjoyed the music. I thought it kind of really suited the pace and matched what the characters were sort of going through. Just how did you go about getting music? And
that was the problem. We should have maybe given it a bit more thought. I mean, we actually got quite lucky on this because we had discussed what we'd like. But we were looking more for like a bit of like the Irish ballroom was the original idea, but when we got to the edit we felt that wasn't going to quite work, and the guy who edited for us, his son is like a music composer, and we showed it to him and he said, I've got something for it, I know exactly what you're looking for. And because we let him listen to what we thought would work, and we agreed with him that it wouldn't quite fit what we wanted. And he just sent us, the first thing he sent us was just pretty much that, bar a few tweaks. We just thought, yeah, that's on the money. We were really, really pleased with it. So that was a wee bit of luck.
Yeah, it does work.
Yeah, it's got a lovely undertone to it. I mean, in fairness, all the actors worked for free. We didn't actually pay them. The script editor, again, worked for free, which was a bit of a bonus. Total budget was £1,300. That was £1,000 from a private investor, and the DOP wanted to work with the Sony EX3 at the time, so he chipped in £300 of his own money, so we could actually get the camera for the 4 days of filming. So that's, I mean, it's not a lot, but it was just about enough to sort of work with. Could be doing more money, but then I think everybody's in the same boat.
Maybe one more?
Is there a platform or anything? Another kind of festival that?
And we've sort of finished sort of the festival run on that. Myself and John, we've got we've got 2 in production at the minute, and we're currently sort of at the very tender stages of a feature film idea. So in terms of a platform, it's showcased for that's what we've sort of been able to achieve on our second film. The third one, which we're going to shoot in the Republic of Ireland in October, will hopefully, sort of progress our sort of catalogue, our back catalogue of material, and then it'll hopefully help us then get further on to maybe a feature film. So that's the sort of platform that we're hoping to build from. Yeah.
Do you have to stay in the north?
Yeah, I mean it's weird because John's from Middlesbrough and obviously I'm from Northern Ireland, and
yeah.
it's all sort of happened in Manchester for us, and I mean it's been great here to love being here, and the film making stuff has definitely kept us here. So, but John's currently in Madrid, but he's coming back to make the other films that we sort of want to try and get up and running. So yeah, we're going to try and keep it in Manchester as much as possible.
Stay. Thank you.